TV7 WJHG-TV, Panama City.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show.
From stage to screen to TV to music, it's entertainment this week.
And we'll see what the fatal attraction in Europe is for Michael Douglas.
Controversy catches up with James Fonda in Massachusetts.
The Smothers Brothers come back to prime time.
Liza Minnelli changes for good.
Terrence Trent D'Arby jumps higher up in the charts.
Carl Weathers makes his move at the box office.
Arsenio Hall courts some action.
Johnny Rivers tells the world about the poor side of town.
And Leonard Maltin has a bizarre lineup of movies.
And it's all coming up as the stars beam across the globe, just what the doctor ordered, right?
That's the way to let yourself go and have a better time going.
I'm Rob Weller.
And I'm Lisa Gibbons, all present and accounted for another week of entertainment this week, for the first weekend of February.
And it's happening this week. ABC starts its live coverage of the 15th Winter Olympics with opening ceremonies from Calgary on Saturday.
Whoopi Goldberg is happening. She'll create, write, and play the voices for a new cartoon series. Goldberg is also expected to join Robin Williams and Billy Crystal for Comic Relief 3 in November.
And something new that will be happening for Growing Pains star Alan Thicke. He'll be hosting the 1988 Miss USA, Miss Universe pageants, replacing Bob Barker.
Infidelity and greed are two staple products of American society getting big play at the box office. The timely themes have found their way to Europe, and I traveled to Paris to see if lust and money are happening there.
This is gonna stop.
Dan, if you'd agreed to see me, I wouldn't have called you.
You get it right? It's over. There is nothing between us.
You mean you've had your fun, now you just want a quiet life?
In Fatal Attraction, the issue is infidelity, and that same issue has been very much in the news. It pulled the momentum out of Gary Hart's presidential campaign, and it profoundly altered the lives of evangelist Jim and Tammy Baker.
If you're not inside, you are outside, okay?
Likewise, Wall Street finds its themes in the real-life news, in the fortunes of trader Ivan Boesky and the falterings of the American stock market over the past year. So actor Michael Douglas, in Paris to promote Fatal Attraction, finds himself in the middle of two timely movies.
Well, I read newspapers. I mean, I do. I try to keep up with what's going on, although both projects, I'm sure. I was involved with Fatal Attraction starting about 3.5 years ago, in early drafts of the script, and came on late just as an actor with Wall Street. But, I do like to find balances between real good entertaining pictures that might have some kind of, aftertaste or a lasting feeling.
Art may be imitating life, but for the foreign countries who view these topical movies, the distinction between art and American life may blur. The director of Fatal Attraction concedes that he got more than he bargained for from critics and audiences worldwide.
Well, I just thought I was making a thriller. But then what I found afterwards was that I was making The Cure for AIDS, an anti-feminist movie, a pro-Reagan moralist movie, a yuppie movie, everything. It's attracted all of these labels, which I really hadn't honestly not thought about, you know.
American movies constantly amaze me in terms of their international appeal. So to have particularly two pictures like Fatal Attraction and Wall Street with their sociological implications and questions of morality, of greed and lust, and to come over here and talk to people from all these different countries is stimulating.
The rest of the world may receive its most powerful images of America by way of the silver screen. If so, then in the eyes of the world, last year in the U.S. was the year of lust and greed.
Now, Lisa, Fatal Attraction has already opened in Europe. How are the audiences reacting to it over there?
Pretty much the same way that we have here in the States. It does strike a raw nerve universally. It's doing great business, setting box office records and all that sort of thing, but they did tell me, the actors told me, that in Italy, it's not been received in quite the same way, because the Italians evidently don't read the same sort of moral implications into it.
I'm shocked.
That we do. Well, you know, mistresses and whatever. It's a different story there.
Okay.
More on Fatal Attraction and Michael Douglas Monday on Entertainment Tonight.
You know, the Fatal Attraction phenomena has fostered some transparent movie and television projects named to cash in on the action, including these upcoming productions: Dangerous Affection, Fatal Affection, Fatal Confession, Deadly Illusion, and Lethal Pursuit.
Original. Fatal Attraction has given co-star Ann Archer a career that is definitely happening. The role has attracted Oscar nomination talk and has pushed her acting stock up among the best leading ladies. But when she accepted the part, Archer really had no idea how important the decision would be.
Do you have an affair with her?
Yes.
When the movie became a phenomenon, the actors' roles in Fatal Attraction became more than just parts.
Has this role catapulted you to a different level?
Seems to have, yeah. I mean, we'll see. The next picture, we'll see what happens. I don't know. I mean, there certainly has been enormous interest and lots of scripts and lots of opportunities, and I would like to do something as good and hopefully better than what I just did.
Ann Archer has been what you might call a journeyman actor for years. She's shared the screen with some of the biggest names in the business, but it was her place alongside Michael Douglas which has turned up the heat on her career. The two found that cinematic quality called chemistry.
I always find if you're making a movie where you have a love relationship with your co-star, it really helps if there's chemistry. If there's some sort of attraction there, if it sort of works, it makes it a lot easier. Otherwise, I don't know, it just doesn't have the heat to it or something. I mean, I always feel I can act anything, and no one will ever know.
I noticed in Paris what Ann Archer has dealt with all of her life. Because of her looks, she turns heads.
How frequently have you heard it said that you maybe should have been the one playing the seductress?
Well, people have asked that. I mean, first of all, Adrian Lyne cast against type. He wanted to cast in the wife's role. He wanted to cast a wife as a woman who was sexy, who was vulnerable, a good marriage, an interesting woman, because he felt to do the old cliche, give the old excuses of why the infidelity took place is boring and has been done, and there is a whole element in life. I mean, beautiful women are cheated on by their lovers, their husbands, all the time.
Since I'm sure you're wondering, the answer is yes. Ann Archer is married to this man, sports director Terry Jastrow. She starred with him in Waltz Across Texas, a film which they also produced.
If it wasn't for me, you'd be drilling dry holes in Montana about now.
And you'd be walking from here to Dallas looking for oil with only 4 feet to show for it without my geology, you idiot.
Since Fatal Attraction, Ann Archer is often asked about her personal reaction to infidelity.
I don't know. I always say that if it happened to me, I would probably just kill my husband and be done with it. We take care of it real fast.
Forget to stand by your man thing, huh?
Oh, no, I'd be standing by him. I'd kill him. That would take care of it.
I think that was a reaction to a lot of people after the...
I believe her.
Now, her husband, Terry Jastrow, who we just saw in the clip there, is also going to be directing some of the sporting events at the Olympics this year for ABC.
Yeah, they're heading up to Calgary probably this week, as a matter of fact.
What an exciting life, huh?
They're a great couple.
Well, when we return, we'll update the entertainment newsmakers of the week, including Tom Cruise, who's balancing a conflict between reality and fantasy. Just see how in just a moment.
There are 3 nevers to getting older in Hollywood. Never audition first thing in the morning. Never try to play a character half your age. And even if your leading man is prettier than you are, never, never let him see you sweat.
When the spotlight's on, no other solid keeps you drier than Dry Idea Solid.
Believe me, Dry Idea handles sweat a whole lot better than some people handle birthdays.
Dry Idea. Never let them see you sweat.
If you want soup with that homemade taste, you can't just use big pieces of meat and vegetables. You have to let it simmer for about 2 minutes.
If you can't tell it from homemade, it's probably Campbell's home cooking.
If you're concerned about heart disease and your doctor advises exercise, the right foods, and an aspirin a day, you should know that heart specialists recommend
Ecotrin more than Bayer when they're concerned about aspirin irritation because it's safety-coated. Ecotrin, the one heart specialists recommend.
Keebler presents the appealing taste of baked potato skins in a crunchy chip.
Potato skins got baked potato appeal because they're made with potatoes and skins that are real.
The Keebler Elves make potato skin snack chips with real potatoes and skins.
Cheddar cheese and bacon, sour cream and chives, tasty baked potato.
And they finally got barbecue flavor, too.
They're made with potatoes and skins that are real. Potato skins from Keebler, baked potato appeal. Look at all those little old ladies drinking Lipton tea. See them sitting, sipping Lipton, proper as can be. See them rocking, now that's gentility. Look at all those little old ladies drinking Lipton tea. I said, look at all those little old ladies drinking Lipton tea.
Lisa, who might be making hot casting news?
Well, I happen to know, Rob. Let's start with Kevin Kline and Elizabeth Mastrantonio. Now, they're going to team for the feature film January Man. It's a romantic murder mystery, and production will start next month.
All right, it's time for Julie Christie's American TV debut. She's starring in a CBS miniseries called Dada is Death. It's a true story about a mother's fight to free her son from a Malaysian prison.
And Denzel Washington heads for the Caribbean, Jamaica to be exact. That's for the feature film Finding Mobby. Washington will play a cop investigating a murder in the tourist resort.
Time now to update the entertainment news of the week. From a movie on location in Massachusetts to a set in Burbank, California.
Well, the memory of actress Jane Fonda's anti-war activities during the Vietnam conflict still angers some people. When she decided to film her latest movie in a small New England town, some folks said no. Holyoke's Board of Aldermen meetings rarely draw much of a crowd, but then a controversial figure like Jane Fonda rarely visits this western Massachusetts mill town.
Upset isn't really the word. A little more like disgusted.
Clayton Howe lost both his legs in Vietnam and hasn't forgotten Fonda's 1972 visit to Hanoi. Many others attending also remembered.
These members of the Board of Aldermen do not have the guts to vote on this issue, then I feel sorry.
Following an often heated and emotional debate, the board passed a resolution 11-4 denouncing Fonda's visit.
It's unfortunate that a few people continue to focus on the past. They misrepresent the past, and they certainly have a right to do that, but most people don't feel that way.
Now, the producers of the movie Union Street say they'll go ahead with their plans to film in the area.
And in other news, as a matter of principle, Tom Cruise avoids endorsing alcohol and drinking. So I wanted to hear how he justified playing a bartender in a movie called Cocktail.
I do feel it is a dimensional character, and I do, in this film, get to explore a character on film more than I have in the past.
You have been really careful in your career to make sure that you are not used to endorse alcohol and firearms, that kind of thing. With that in mind, I wonder, were you cautious when you approached a movie, the title of which is Cocktail?
See, it's different as Tom Cruise endorsing a product, but this is a character in a film, and I can't... I mean, it's different as me as an actor playing a role than me as Tom Cruise supporting something and standing up and say, hey, drink this.
Caught a glimpse of Brian Brown there, the Australian actor who co-stars in Cocktail. That's scheduled to be released on July 29th.
Well, Clint Eastwood announced he will not run for a second term as mayor of Carmel, California. Word came the same week that Sonny Bono officially declared his candidacy for mayor of Palm Springs, California. And Steve Martin and Lucille Ball have been elected Man and Woman of the Year by the Hasty Pudding Theatricals of Harvard University. They'll be honored by Harvard this month.
And some updates now on TV series. Apparently, audiences have not been completely charmed by The Charmings or are ready to make Sledgehammer a solid hit. Both shows leave the ABC schedule after next week, though the network says they will come back later. And look to the USA Cable Network for reruns of Murder, She Wrote. The CBS series will begin its syndication life on the cable service this coming fall.
CBS canceled the controversial Smothers Brothers Comedy Hour in 1969. It's taken about 20 years, but the rift between the brothers and the network has healed, just in time for a 20th anniversary special that aired this past week.
Once upon a time we were on TV.
Every Sunday night we knocked them dead.
We're going to hope that, they said, boy, we miss them. We'd like to have them back on on a more regular basis, because they bring some intelligence, they bring some thought to television.
Who
which
does?
We do.
Oh.
I'm hoping they're going to think that. I know you don't think that because
You
you're
wanna fool
thoughtless.
them again?
Yeah, you're thoughtless anyway.
Thoughtless?
Thoughtless.
That's a stupid thought.
Thank you.
That was not a compliment.
You're welcome.
It just keeps going with that.
Tommy and Dickie, they can still do it, can't they?
Yeah.
You know, it's ironic, Rob, that CBS has just recently really finished paying off a $750,000 lawsuit that was filed against the network when they fired the Smothers Brothers in the first place.
They probably made that much just for this special. Well, the Smothers Brothers special came in second, by the way, in the ratings. It was beaten by Dynasty, but it kept St. Elsewhere in third place. There are no firm plans for another show, but a network representative said there was some tentative talk about doing a series.
So it's a maybe.
Mm-hmm.
After a 6-year-long break, Liza Minnelli is making feature films again. Just out, Rent-A-Cop with Burt Reynolds, and currently in production, a sequel to her 1981 hit Arthur. Arthur on the Rocks reunites her with her pal Dudley Moore, and they could be just a step away from another hit.
Not yet.
You really are riding a new wave of popularity. Do you sense that happening? I sense that people are pleased with the work. I sense that people are on my side, that they're rooting for me. I think they perceive I've changed, and I guess I've changed, you know.
She has changed for the better, really. Her act is together, and she's hot.
And this movie may do pretty well.
Well, the whole cast is back, so that'll be fun. And Arthur on the Rocks is set to open in July.
Tentatively.
Tentatively,
Yes,
right
all
now.
right. Okay, we're going to be right back with a rundown on next week's movies. Ahead, the making of a real 60s classic. We'll have Johnny Rivers then and now.
And there's something about Alf's TV mom you probably don't know. Stick around and find out as Entertainment This Week continues.
All right, look at the first president to live in the White House.
Oh, who is John Adams?
Right.
Okay, presidents for 200.
Wow, Alex Trebek!
He wasn't a president.
Jeopardy!
History for $200. The answer is the site of Napoleon's last defeat. Mike.
What is Waterloo?
Correct.
I'll take potent potables for $100.
Gee, the drinks in this place are expensive.
The answer is gin and vermouth.
Oh, worse than a martini.
Good.
I'll take food for thought for 300.
Let's make this an audio daily double.
Why will my fried eggs be scrambled today?
That's right. It's time for Final Jeopardy. The category is Ancient Egypt. Final Jeopardy answer is exact chemical formula of the fluid used to embalm King Tut.
King Tut?
Put it on my tab.
Jeopardy's the language of Jeopardy.
Oh, be sure and phrase it in the form of a question.
I went from hotshot lawyer to cocaine addict. And I didn't just ruin myself. I spread disaster among my family, friends, and business.
I stole for cocaine. See, cocaine torments you till you do anything to get it.
When I was doing cocaine, I got so selfish. I wish I didn't have no one. No kids, no parents, no people who loved me.
I don't know how I got there, but I sold everything for cocaine. Took away my self-esteem.
For years, I denied the addiction until the money was gone. And my jet-set life totally blown away.
Anyone that says cocaine's not addictive, they lie.
When you do cocaine, you lie to yourself about being in control.
Cocaine's not hip. It's hype. Anyone who tells you it's okay is a liar.
Cocaine, the big lie. Call 1-800-662-HELP.
Movies coming to theaters nationwide this week. Shoot to Kill stars Sidney Poitier, Tom Berenger, and Kirstie Alley in an outdoor action adventure about two men trying to save a kidnapped woman. And Justine Bateman makes her big screen debut in Satisfaction as a rock and roll singer who leads her band from a tough neighborhood to playing a rich beach club resort for the summer.
And the classic 1962 tale of brainwashing and assassination is being re-released. The Manchurian Candidate stars Lawrence Harvey, Frank Sinatra, and Janet Leigh.
Action Jackson premieres in theaters nationwide this week, and it's the subject of our exclusive movie preview today. Carl Weathers is Action Jackson, a maverick cop who teams up with rock star Vanity to foil a dangerous auto tycoon. Looks like his senses are tuned in to impending danger in this clip.
Hey, no lights.
Okay. You're the romantic here.
Hope I live long enough to keep it that way.
Well, I've got some munchies like you would not believe. Some cherry pie and ice cream. So, what have we got here?
Hey, come on. Later, okay? Later.
What's wrong? Food not romantic enough for you?
You usually get calls in the middle of the night.
I happen to be a very popular girl.
Wait, I'm not kidding. Come on.
No! But this is kind of romantic now.
Nash, and I'm not...
Jericho, what's going on?
That's why we don't turn on lights or answer the phone.
Where are we going to go now?
My car. Come on.
Action Jackson will kick his way into theaters this Friday, Rob.
You bet, Lisa. Now, when someone mentions industrial films, action is the last thing that you think about. But while many of you may conjure up images of that tacky little movie they showed you on a fourth-grade field trip to the local bakery, Leonard Maltin has found something in the video store that will really raise some laughs.
Not long ago, we showed you some campy examples of government-made films. They weren't meant to be funny, they just turned out that way. So now we're going to turn from government to industry. Films from the collection of archivist Richard Prelinger, who's released a bunch of industrial films from the 1930s on video under the title To New Horizons.
When you hear the phrase industrial films, this may be what comes to mind. But American companies have always been in the business of public relations, and a number of them have been making films almost as long as Hollywood has. Some of them might be seen as ancestors of today's TV commercials.
I'm Snap. I'm Crackle. I'm Pop. At your service, Bobby.
Oh, yeah? Hey, gang. These guys is muscling in. Let's get them. Come on, Mushy. Hey, let's go, Bobby.
Speaking of soggy, how about this duet by a couple of happy service station men?
Service that is tops and gas that's extra fine. There's a smile for every mile at the S.O. sign. E-S-S-O makes your car go. Happy motoring.
Just as often, these films were serious in nature, intending to promote some sort of public education or awareness. Here's an item from the Chevrolet newsreel of 1936.
This roving voice of the police is a watchdog of traffic, giving orders at just the right time to make both drivers and jaywalkers safety conscious, like this.
Please, lady, always look at the traffic signal before you step from the curb.
I wonder how today's drivers would respond to one of those loudspeakers, or to something like this.
In this experiment, the mask collects the air the young lady breathes. The air is measured and then analyzed in a laboratory to determine the amount of energy she uses under different working conditions. Now, we'll give the young lady 80 decibels of unpleasant noises. That is, about the amount of noise